After her bath, Anna looked calmer. "I'm really sorry about last time," she said to William in the sitting room. "Jeff just flew in. I thought we were finished." "No, that's fine. I don't often get the chance to clear away the dirty plates of a Hollywood star. I enjoyed it very much. How is he?" "I don't know. One day I couldn't remember any of the reasons that I loved him." "And how are you?" "And love. Well, there's a question, without an interesting answer." "I have thought about you," she said, looking into his eyes. "Oh, no, no, no." William's heart ached. It was too painful. He didn't want her to continue, but she did. "But there's a problem. When I try to be with someone ordinary, it never works." "Of course. I completely understand. Thank you for telling me that." William felt uncomfortable and changed the subject. "Is that the film you're doing?" he asked, pointing to some papers in her hand. "Yes. We start filming in Los Angeles on Tuesday. Would you like me to help you learn your lines?" "Will you?" She looked pleased. "It's all talk, talk, talk." "What's the story about?" "I'm a difficult but clever young officer who in about 20 minutes will save the world." "Well done, you." William found the language of the film almost impossible to understand, but he read the other parts for Anna, and she practiced her lines. They had great fun. As the day passed, Anna seemed to forget about her problems. "So, what do you think of the film?" she asked when they stopped. "Exciting. It's not Jane Austen or Henry James, but it is exciting." "You think I should do Henry James?" "I'm sure you'd be great in Henry James. But, I mean, this writer's quite good too." "Yes," she said. "Nobody in the Wings of the Dove says, 'Tell the Pentagon we need Black Star cover.' And I think that's a pity." Anna smiled her widest smile. He really was helping. Later that evening, they sat down to eat. "I can't believe you have that picture on the wall," she said, looking at a cheap copy of a Chagall painting. "You like Chagall?" he asked. "I do. That's how love should feel. A big dark blue sky, with a fish falling from it. Yes. Happiness isn't happiness without a fish falling from the sky." Spike brought pizzas to the table. "Right, for the Queen of Notting Hill, Carnival Calypso, hot chicken and fruit, and a little more chicken." "Great," said Anna, looking at her plate. "Spike, did I tell you that Anna doesn't eat meat?" "Ah. Well, I've got some vegetable soup from last week. If I take off the skin, it'll be perfect." After the meal, Spike left to meet his friends in the pub. William and Anna were alone at last. "You've got big feet," Anna said. "Yes, I've always had them." "You know what they say about men with big feet?" "No, what's that?" "Big feet." She stopped and looked him in the eye. "Big shoes." They both laughed, comfortably. A little later they discussed Anna's film work. "When I make films," she told him, "I don't take my clothes off. Well, not all of them. That's the agreement." and they have to discuss it with me if they want to use another person's body in my place. Another person's body? What do you mean? Well, if they want me to show my bottom, I refuse. Another actor has to do it. And do you choose a better bottom than yours? Of course. That's really important. She laughed. What a job, said William. What do those people put on their passports? Profession. Mel Gibson's bottom. Mel uses his own bottom, Anna said, taking another mouthful of ice cream. It's great. The ice cream or Mel Gibson's bottom? Both. They had a wonderful evening, but, of course, it had to end. William walked with Anna up to the bedroom. Today has been a good day. Thank you, said Anna gratefully. They stopped outside the bedroom door. Well, thank you. Time for bed. And the sofa bed for me. Right. She kissed him sweetly. Then she went into the bedroom and closed the door. William walked slowly downstairs for a lonely night on the sofa bed. He couldn't sleep. He lay there with his eyes wide open. Will she come? He waited and hoped, but nothing happened. Then, suddenly, he heard a sound on the stairs. William waited nervously. Hello? He said into the darkness. A bearded face looked into the room. Hello? Have you got a minute? Spike, listen. Anna's not with her boyfriend now, is she? Spike asked. No, I don't think so. And she's in your house? Yes. And you like her? Yes. And she likes you? Yes. Well, isn't this your big chance? You should be up there with her. Spike pointed upstairs. No, Spike. She's in trouble. This is not the time, William said angrily. All right. I understand that. Spike turned to go. Then he spoke again. Do you mind if I try? Spike! No, you're right. I'll talk to you in the morning. William lay down again. Okay. But maybe it'll be too late then. Spike went back to bed. William lay in bed thinking. A few minutes later, he heard footsteps on the stairs again. Oh, go away, will you? He said angrily. Okay, replied Anna quietly. William jumped up. No! Wait. I thought you were Spike. I'm so happy you're not. They stood face to face in the half-light. He kissed her neck softly, then her shoulder. Then he looked at her face. That face. He couldn't believe he was touching Anna Scott. Wow. What? Anna asked. Oh, nothing. And he kissed her deeply. The next morning, they lay in bed together. It's wonderful and strange that I, William Thacker, can look at your naked body. You and every other person in this country, she replied. Oh, yes. Sorry. Rita Hayworth always said they go to bed with Gilda and they wake up with me. Do you feel that? She asked. Who was Gilda? Her most famous part. Men went to bed with the dream and woke up with the reality. Do you feel that way with me? You're lovelier this morning than you've ever been, he replied. Anna smiled. Oh. Then she jumped out of bed. I'll be back. Don't go away. 10 minutes later, Anna returned with breakfast. Breakfast in bed? She smiled warmly. She sat on the bed and asked hesitantly, Can I stay a bit longer? William looked at her. Stay forever, he said softly. Oh, I forgot the sugar. Just then, the doorbell rang. You get the door, I'll get the sugar, she said, leaving the room. William sighed. He pulled on his underpants and went downstairs. Okay, I'm coming, he shouted. He opened the door and was suddenly caught in the light of lots of cameras. The street was full of reporters shouting. He quickly shut the door again. Jesus Christ! What is it? Anna called. Don't ask, replied William, his voice shaking. William, what is it? Anna thought he was joking. She went to the door, opened it, and looked outside. Oh no, she cried, throwing the door shut. She turned to William. And they got a photo of you dressed like that? Undressed like this, yes. Spike walked into the kitchen, naked, except for a pair of dirty grey underpants. Good morning, my lovely ones, he greeted them, giving William a big smile. Anna was on the phone. They're outside. Hundreds of them. Yes, I know. Just get me out of here. She put the phone down and walked angrily upstairs. Don't go outside, Spike, said William. Really, it's not a good idea. Why not? Just don't. William followed Anna upstairs. Spike thought for a minute. Then he opened the front door. The air was filled with people shouting, cameras, and lights. Wow, thought Spike, standing there in his grey underpants. He liked this. He turned to offer the photographers the best view of his naked body. When he closed the door, he looked at himself in the mirror. Not bad. Not at all bad. Well chosen underpants. Girls love grey. William was upstairs, standing in the bedroom doorway. How are you doing? He asked. How do you think I'm doing? Anna shouted. I don't know what happened. Well, I do, she said, throwing her things into a bag. Your stupid friend decided to make some money, so he talked to some reporters. Spike? No, that's not true, William answered. Really? Reporters from every British newspaper are outside your house. They all woke up this morning and thought, I know where that Anna Scott is. She's in the house with the blue front door in Notting Hill. And then you go out half naked. Unbelievable. Spike put his head round the door. And I went out in my underpants too. Get out, Spike, William said. Listen, Anna, I'm so sorry. I came here to you for protection from these people. And now things are even worse than before. What will everyone think? I mean, I've got a boyfriend, she shouted. Have you? Asked William quietly. Well, everyone thinks I have. And now there'll be pictures of you in every paper from here to Timbuktu. I know, but just let's stay calm. You can stay calm. Everything's fine for you. Everyone will say, well done, you. You slept with a film star. We've seen the pictures. William looked hurt. That is so unfair, he said seriously. You can use it for your business. Buy a boring book from the man who slept with Anna Scott. She pushed past him and out of the room. Stop. Please, calm down. Have a cup of tea. But she refused to listen. I don't want a stupid cup of tea. I want to go home, she shouted, running downstairs. William followed her. The doorbell rang. It's a big car, Spike called down from the upstairs window. It looks like your driver, Anna. Anna was a little calmer now, but as cold as ice. Tell Spike to buy you an expensive meal, or a holiday, she said to William. I'm sure he has the money now. That's not true. Spike's not like that. Wait a minute. This is all crazy. Can't we laugh about it? Terrible things happen in the world. Compared to them, this is nothing. Spike came downstairs. He's going to tell you about people without food in Africa, he said to Anna. Well, it's true, said William, and we don't have to go as far as that. My best friend had an accident and is in a wheelchair for the rest of her life. Anna's face softened. Okay, you're right, of course. But I've had this problem for 10 years and you've only had it for 10 minutes. You can't imagine what it's like. I mean, tomorrow all this will be yesterday's news. You don't understand, do you? She looked at him. They keep these photos. Every time someone writes about me, these photos will be in the papers. Newspapers last forever. I'll be sorry about this forever. The color left William's face. He realized now that this was the end. Right. Fine. I won't be sorry, if it's all right with you. I'll always be glad you came. But you're right. You should go. She looked at him sadly, and then the doorbell rang again. Keeping her head down, Anna ran outside. There were shouts from the crowd of reporters and photographers, and then she was gone. William turned to Spike. Was it you? He asked. Well, Spike said slowly. It's possible that I told one or two people in the pub. William sighed. Right. Chapter 9. New Hope. Summer ended and autumn leaves began to fall. William continued with his life, but he couldn't escape a feeling of emptiness. Every day was the same. He lived through that winter in a dream. Nothing seemed important. And then it was spring. We've got something for you, said Honey, coming into the bookshop. Spike stood behind her in the doorway. You'll love me for the rest of your life. What is it? Asked William, interested. The phone number of Anna Scott's office in London. And the one in New York? You can ring her? You think about her all the time. Now you can ring her. William knew Honey was trying to help. He tried to look pleased. Well, thank you. That's great. It is great, she said, smiling. See you tonight. Honey and Spike left. William looked at the piece of paper in his hand for a minute. Then, with a sigh, he threw it away. That evening, the friends met again at Tony's restaurant. Tony's dream was at an end. His restaurant was closing. Bella spoke for them all. Exactly a year ago, this man here started the finest restaurant in London. The friends all laughed and shouted. But sadly, no one ever came to eat here. Just a very small problem, said Tony, smiling. Bella continued. And so, from next week, we have to find somewhere new to eat. It's a sad time. Tony smiled again, but the smile couldn't hide his unhappiness. But I just want to say one more thing. Tony, don't think there's something wrong with you. We can't always understand the reasons why things happen. Some things succeed and others fail. Nobody knows why. Some of us get lucky and some of us lose our jobs, Bernie finished. No, said Bella in surprise. Yes, it's true, Bernie replied with a sigh. They're changing everything, and there's no place for me. Well, you know I was no good. So we go down together, said Tony, lifting his glass to Bernie. To Bernie, the worst stockbroker in the world. They all laughed and drank. I've got something to say too, said Honey, standing up. I've decided to get married. They all looked surprised. I found myself a nice, strange-looking man. I know he'll make me happy for the rest of my life. Wait a minute, said William. I'm your brother, and I don't know anything about this. Is it someone we know? Asked Max. Bernie looked hopeful. Yes. I'll tell you when the time is right, she replied. She sat down again, and the conversation turned to other subjects. While the others were talking, Honey whispered softly to Spike. Spike? It's you. Me? He looked surprised. Yes. What do you think? Well, yes. Great, he smiled. Are there any other important things that anyone wants to say? Max asked.